Dear teacher, today I'm going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of working with pair work and group work. Before presenting this, let me give you an introduction about the traditional classroom. It was a place where students passively received explicit grammatical vocabulary pronunciation from the teachers. Fortunately, it has changed today because today students are the main actors of the teaching learning process. Students are able to participate actively today. The teacher is only the advisor, the supporter when it is necessary. But the main responsible for developing a meaningful learning are the students today. Only the teacher supports them when it's necessary, giving some reinforcement or some feedback. So, I really agree with the statement of Vygotsky through scaffolding, where he states that the meaningful learning only occurs when students interact from each other. He considers that dialogues, debates, conversation, and other ways of interaction are extremely necessary. It is true because in this way students are able to help each other to share ideas and generate or develop a meaningful learning. So, the advantages of working with group work are many and useful into the classroom. When it happens, students are able to develop negotiation of meaning. It means they can ask for clarification from one each other into the group. They also sometimes ask their classmates, when they doubt about a certain, thing, they ask for clarification and sometimes they ask if their thinking is understood or not. In this way, also students feel secure, there are not anxiety anymore. Students are not criticized or are not insulted easily by the teacher because when they meet 4 or 5 people into the group, they are able to share their ideas, their knowledge, to compare, and so forth. They feel motivated, so they feel secure, self confident to work on the task. They can focus on the topic. There are also a good advantage when students, when they work, in groups, they promote, responsibility and autonomy. When they are responsible, they are focused on the task, they are concentrating, they are quite thinking, and also when there is autonomy they don't need too much the teacher's interference because they are able to do a right task between the group. They can share the knowledge, they can share the ideas. This is basically the advantages when working in groups. There are some disadvantages also, of course. There are when students have to monitor all the time different groups. Sometimes there are so different cognitive styles when some students prefer to work alone rather than working on groups. Another, disadvantage could be when teachers have to reinforce the students' errors or to control group to group. There are so many disadvantages, but of course there are more advantages than disadvantages when working with group work. There are another issue to discuss about. There are the advantages of working with paid work. Some advantages are when students, needs when they work in 2 people, paid work, less guidance from the teacher. They can help and support from each other. There are also collaboration, and collaboration and cooperation in learning. There are when some students, they generate, information, they share some information, they cooperate, they sit down, they only focus from one to one rather than focusing on more students. There are another, advantage was when students also feel secure. They support each other when they work. There are not too much, interference from other students on the teacher. There are some disadvantages also to work in paid work. It happens when there is too noisy, and it can generate yeah, a chaos for the teacher and other group works. So in this case, paid works. Sorry, but sometimes students can lose direction instead of being focused on the studies, on the task. Sometimes they are getting distracted because the teacher has to monitor the other groups, or the other pair work. There are mainly disadvantages, but in this case, I really summarize saying that working with paid work, and group work is extremely necessary. Just to repeat you again, it has more advantages than disadvantages. Students feel motivated, they feel secure. The responsibility is on the group or on the two people. They can ask for clarification, they can share ideas. And the disadvantages are little. Of course, it happens also. This is what mainly I can tell you, teacher, about these issues that are extremely necessary to apply today in order to generate a meaningful learning, especially today that the education has been transferred, from the traditional to the constructivism. Today we have the responsibility to master and to apply into the class this kind of group of pair works. Thank you, teacher, for giving me the opportunity to interact with you and share these ideas. I see you in Quito, in order to receive previous classes and finally to take our graduation exam. See you another day. Thank you so much.